This is the Italian Real Estate Podcast, here to help you with the ins and outs and basics of Italian real estate, presented by ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com.
Hello there, and welcome to another edition of the Italian Real Estate Podcast, presented by ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. Of course, we are back at it again with Italian attorney Marco Permunian. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I am doing great, and in this episode, we wanted to talk about a new town, part of a new type of €1 offering called Ollolai, Sardinia. In general, when we're talking about the €1 offers that are being made in Italy, they're for purchasing a property, but in Ollolai, we're talking about €1 per month for rent. This is a very different approach. So Marco, could you tell us a little bit more about this new project that is happening in Ollolai?
Yeah, so it appears that the mayor of Ollolai has started a new type of initiative, like you said, which involves not offering houses for sale, but offering properties for rent for the amount of €1 per month. Mm-hmm. And of course, the goal of the initiative is always, as always, to repopulate the town. But I think there is something more in this case, because not only the mayor wants to repopulate the town, but also they want to bring professionals, especially from foreign countries, to Ollolai to share their expertise, to share their work experiences. So the initiative will be open to Americans at first who want to move to Ollolai and work remotely from there while enjoying the Sardinian beautiful weather. And they would have to move there, and they would be allowed to rent an apartment for a nominal fee of €1 per month for the first 5 years. Then the rent will go up to the average, which it sounds like from the initiative that it will be around €250 per month after 5 years. But of course, for the first 5 years, the rent is almost free. And in exchange, these professionals from the US will have to share their expertise through workshops and seminars open to the locals, where they share basically their expertise. And in exchange, they can work remotely from the beautiful town of Ollolai, while enjoying a rent for only €1 per month offered by the municipality itself.
That's pretty shocking. €1 for rent per month is unheard of, especially in Italy. €1 a month is unbelievable. But I'm just curious, for the individuals who are thinking that they are interested in taking part in this offer, I don't know if you mentioned it, but I believe that there are 10 individuals who will be accepted for this. How would it look for those individuals to be able to get a visa in Italy? What would they need to go through? And what options would they have available to them?
Let me start by saying that this initiative will also be open, and that's been stated by the mayor itself, to other foreign nationals, including people from the European Union in the future who want to relocate to Sardinia, or in English, Sardinia. So for people who are not members of the European Union, of course, they would have to go through a visa application process. It has not been made clear yet by the town if there will be assistance with the visa application processes, but in a normal situation, in order to be able to live and reside in Italy as a known EU citizen, there are certain visas that are available to you, like the work visa if somebody is wanting to maybe be employed by an Italian company, or a self-employment visa if somebody is a freelancer or is working remotely, and the upcoming digital nomad visa, which will be approved by the Italian government in the next few months. We're expecting the legislation that will make the visa available to foreign nationals, a visa that is being purposely put in place for digital nomads, for people who are not member of the European Union and want to relocate to Italy and work remotely for their American companies or want to work in Italy as freelancers.
Well, thank you, Marco. And just for a little bit better of an idea of Ollolai and also Sardinia, just in general, where on the island is it located? Is it easily accessible to beaches or any cities or any tourist destinations? What does it look like?
Ollolai is a beautiful village located exactly in the middle, in the center of Sardinia, of the island. It's about 1 hour from each coast, so the coast can easily be reached from the town of Ollolai. And the island of Sardinia itself is not that big, so if you have to reach the north end of Sardinia or the south end of Sardinia, that's also quite easy. Probably in 1.5 hours, you could reach both the north and the south end of the island.
Well, that's really cool that you'd be able to get around the island so quickly and easily. But what are the kind of common activities? What are the big draws that pull people into Sardinia just in general? What are the things that people look for when they're going there?
Sardinia is a beautiful island on the Mediterranean Sea. It's, of course, famous worldwide for its beautiful beaches, but also in Sardinia, there are, according to the most recent statistics, there is one of the groups of people with the longest life expectancy, and of course that has to do with the lifestyle of the island, the food, and they say it has to do with some genes also inside people. So it's really shocking to me that in Italy, in that island, there is like not only this beautiful nature, but also a group of people that really live longer than the average.
Yeah, it's really interesting because also in, I think it's up by Lago di Garda, Lake Garda, that is one of these other locations that's known worldwide as one of the top life expectancies, I think along with Japan and a couple of other places. It's absolutely fascinating. But also I'm curious, what about access to the island? Are there airports or boats? What do people normally do to get there?
On the island, there are 3 major airports. One is in Olbia on the northeast side of the island. The second one is in Alghero on the northwest side of the island. And finally, you have one in Cagliari on the south portion of the island. So it's actually very easy to get to Sardinia, both from Italy and from Europe. There are direct flights from other European countries, so you can even just go straight to Sardinia from another European country, or it's very common for people who enjoy traveling by boat, or people who have the need to carry their car from the mainland to the island to use these ferry boats. And there are several ferry lines that connect the island to the mainland. One of the most popular, one of the most used, especially by Italians, is the ferry that leaves from Piombino on the in Tuscany, on the Tuscan coast, and that goes to Olbia, and it takes about between say 5 and 10 hours, depending on the type of ferry, depending on whether you're traveling by day or by night, to cross, so to get from the mainland to the island. But there's another famous one that leaves from Civitavecchia in Lazio near Rome that takes a shorter amount of time, between 4 and 6 hours. So if you're planning on going by car to Sardinia, just be sure that you check these 2 locations out, because they make it very easy for people to travel by car. Or even with an RV, which is also a very popular thing to do for Italians and in general people that come from other countries, including countries in the European Union, to wanting to travel by RV to the island of Sardinia, which includes a lot of places where you can park your RV and enjoy beautiful views by the sea.
That's really awesome. I didn't know about that. And I remember I don't know what the car ferries are like in Italy, but I remember going on car ferries in the Seattle area as a child, and also up in British Columbia in Canada. And that was always a lot of fun. I'm sure it's a very different experience, but I can only imagine like just having like a nice, like not quite a cruise per se, but being able to have a nice ride along in the Mediterranean off to a tropical Mediterranean destination. That's really awesome. And so another thing that I'm also curious about is, what does it look like in winter? Is it the type of place that's only like a summer seaside destination, or do you find like cities with people that are kind of going all year round?
Of course, Sardinia, it's widely famous for its beautiful beaches and crystal water, and its Costa Smeralda. It's also a popular destination for famous people who want to escape their daily life. And it's very easy to spot very expensive yachts if you go there during the summer. I'd say that compared to Sicily, which is very rich in history and has a lot of cities that are among the most visited in Europe, in Sardinia, you find really a lot of nature and a lot of outdoor activities that can be done. And of course, both of the islands are beautiful. They're just, I'd say, very different despite being very close to each other geographically. But to answer your question, during winter, it might get quite on the quiet side, especially compared to other islands such as Sicily.
Well, that's really interesting to hear, Marco. It's been fascinating to hear about Sardinia and to hear about what things look like there. I personally haven't been before. It's a place that I would say I'm definitely curious to see. But to bring it back to Ollolai before we round out this episode, can you tell us a little bit more, like how many people are there? Is it a small town? Is it a big city? Is it a tiny village? What's the lay of the land?
So it's definitely a small village. It has about 1,200 people. And that's why, of course, the initiative of the municipality aims at repopulating the town and bringing people back to the town.
Wow, that's quite a small town. I can say I've lived in smaller, but that's still very, very small. But I'm sure for the right people who are looking for a very different type of lifestyle, I'm sure this could offer a great experience. But Marco, to round out the episode, if anybody's interested in moving to Italy, more information about purchasing property, renting property, or how to relocate to the country, how can they get in contact with you and your team?
People can contact us through our website, italianrealestatelawyers.com, or give us a call. Our number is on our website.
It's absolutely fantastic. And of course, if you're interested in more information about moving to Italy, renting in Italy, purchasing in Italy, make sure that you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. And of course, the audio only podcast. But of course, if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, you're also automatically subscribed to the Italian Citizenship Podcast, another project that Marco and I collaborate on, where we go into more detail about some of the legal aspects of making Italy your home. And also, if you're interested in more information about life abroad, living abroad as a dual citizen expat, be sure to come over to my YouTube channel and podcast, Not Your Average Globetrotter. You can search for that on Google, YouTube, or your favorite podcasting platform of choice. But of course, we have been here with Italian attorney Marco Permunian from ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. I'm Raffaele Di Furia. Stay safe and healthy out there, and we will see you all next time. Later.
Thank you.